All right, guys, we're rolling. Episode 3 of Political Machine Podcast.
Wait.
Oh, shoot. Correct.
Now we're rolling.
Let me put this in
Correct.
do not play silent mode.
Yeah, that'd be bad. I don't know why I'm paranoid that it's not going to... It's good. All right, guys. Welcome back. Episode 3, Political Machine Podcast. Week 3, Episode 3. Short introductions. Mau Sanchez, Portfolio Capital.
Sakib Shaikh, pronounced Shaikh.
Greg Brockhouse, pronounced Greg. Yeah, just Greg. I don't
There you
need
go.
I'm good, bro.
How's this week?
It's good, man. Picking fights with the Spurs wherever I can in my small little reach of my world. Hustling a big event at my church for a few days. We got a 4-day event here at my parish, Little Flower. We got like these bones of our patroness saint coming to San Antonio. So we're planning to have like 100,000 people come through the church over 4 days. So it's kind of kept me a little bit swamped and just, hustling, driving the dad Uber for my 16-year-old son who needs to get his license. But other than that, we're hustling good here, man.
What about you, Sakib?
I'm just busy with work.
What's work?
So, it's funny. People on the campaign would ask me what I do for a living. And it's the straight answer would be like, I'm a realtor, but I do that's only like 40% of what I do. The real thing that's keeping me busy nowadays is some real estate development that I'm doing. I'm
Nice.
building a couple of houses on the east side.
Nice.
And then hoping to,
looking
looking at some land as well. That's like half an acre on the east side. I'm enjoying like real estate development so much, like residential development.
Yep.
I know real estate developers on the commercial side have a bad reputation, and I don't even know what the appeal is other than the money. But on the residential side, you are allowed to be so creative, and you can see your contribution to the culture in the structures that you develop. So right now I'm working on 2 modern developments. After this, I want to work on some, like a mix of Mexican style homes and Moroccan style, like
Nice.
a blend of that.
All right.
But that's like your contribution to the city because the houses stay forever.
You're doing that on the east side?
Really, it's wherever there's land available, and there's lots of
land.
empty
San Antonio.
lots available on the east side.
You're probably the third person I talked to this week that's doing work in the east side right now.
It's just there's just land available there.
They canceled the land bridge thing, right? So likelihood of you
You
profit.
gotta be thinking of building
hard
a
on that.
bridge.
The land, yeah, that's an interesting thing. Let's get into that.
Should we dive in?
It's just another example of how this is so poorly planned, and how I'm looking forward to it not passing, and then we can start over. Because I do support the idea of building something, whether it's another arena or whatever. I like building things. I like big developments. I like big cultural impactful developments. But this was just done too much behind closed doors, and we're seeing the result of not including the city, not including the rest of the community in the discussion.
Peter Sakib would disagree with you. I just heard him on the podcast this past week with Eddie Adrete.
What did he say?
He wants to pass this. He's pushing his narrative. The whole thing was his narrative for going on that show was to get the county to basically vote yes.
Yeah, Greg, I'd be interested in your take on this because one thing I noticed is like every political figure in San Antonio that's somewhat part of an establishment, whether it's like having good relations with the chambers or the general business community, they're all for it. And they like no questions asked. They just want it passed.
They're the same people who have been for these types of projects, whether it was the SBC Center, the Alamo Dome. They are the same group of political elites. They used to be the old chamber crowd. And these are the folks that are old time money sitting up in Alamo Heights and on the north side of town. And they, over the years, in the chambers of commerce, over the years, these chambers of commerce, which were basically the ones that would fund the political campaigns, they were the go-to people for the money and the resources. They were the go-to people for the relationships outside of our city for expansion and all these other things. And what's happened is over the last 20 to 30 years, you've seen a shift, right, from those who get elected to those who thought they used to run the city back in the day. So the money would run the city 30 years ago, and you'd end up with them controlling the agenda, getting their people elected, and that was what our city was, right? And the power, the concentration, the money, the power, the resources was all within a certain group of political elites. And, Henry Cisneros breaks into that a little bit decades ago. Ivy Taylor, the Ed Garzas of the world, and Julian Castro. So over time, over these decades, what has happened is the city council has become less, I hate to say the word professional because they're professional people down there, but it's a professionalized council and leadership decades ago, and now it's a people-driven leadership mentality at City Hall that's not bought and paid for by the moneyed people, right? The chambers. They have so little impact now. It's very difficult for them to get people elected. And Eddie Alderete's podcast, Beyond the Bite, very informative, a lot of information in it. But Eddie is part of himself of that older culture that has ran this city for decades.
Very biased out.
It's very biased. Very biased. It's business oriented. And so what has happened is San Antonio's elected people that don't buy their bullshit anymore, that aren't swayed by the $500 contribution, or aren't just happy to have the job, and they're really social and cultural warriors, and they're down there making policies and doing things that are against the business community and allegedly fighting for the community, right, and the people of San Antonio. But what's crazy about Project Marvel is there are 7 of these people down there now who are supporting this, right, who call themselves progressives and champions of the people, yet they're investing billions of dollars on things that don't champion or help people. I always say this as I've been fighting against Project Marvel, and I agree with Sakib actually 100%, right? This needs to end. This needs to be voted down, which I'm not sure now it's going to happen. They dumped nearly $10 million into this campaign. They're buying votes everywhere they can, so it may very well pass, but we should start over and do better. But, what I would like to see is, and I've grown into this position over years, right, which is how we measure our community, the success of it is by those of us who have the least. It's a biblical term, I think, across any religion. That's a biblical standard in nearly every religion, right, is help for the poor. And these council members and people that are advocating for this, it's mind-boggling to me. So it's all over the place, really. It makes no sense. You've got Republicans on city council supporting it, and then we're anti-debt and we're conservative. It makes no sense. So dogs and cats sleeping together, everybody's hanging out. It's a weird time. And nobody understands, right? Up is down, east is west. I mean, the political climate's all over.
I made a comment on Facebook about this, basically like officially putting my position out there. And one portion of the comment was about how, without calling out any individual council members, all the ones I see that are for it now, most of them were against it during the campaign. There's not really any new information that came out that I can see that would be compelling enough to change their mind. But as soon as they got elected, complete switch.
No, it's because
they just adopted generic talking.
I'm telling you, man, I think we talked about this last week. They get enamored with the job.
Yeah.
They get sucked into the vortex of being an elected official. And I see it in all of their faces. I've seen it when I talk to them. When we joked about Manny Pelaez saying they're basically royalty, right? I mean, that stupid comment, whether he was mocking it or not. I don't even know what his intentions were, but it highlights the stupidity of the position. I can't be any more clear to anybody who wants to run for city council or is on the city council. You are nothing unless you have the support of your community. You understand where they're coming from. And if your sole goal is to support them, then bravo, I'm here for you. But if you go down that city hall and you think you are God's gift and you think, man, I wish I had a Klondike bar right now. Here comes a Klondike bar. Oh, I wish I had a Coke Zero. Oh, can I get that Coke Zero for you, sir? None of that shit matters. And I think it's embarrassing. I think people get sucked into it. I think they think, oh my God, Manu Ginobili's hanging out with me at lunch today. You're right. I'm with you, Manu. Dear 7 council members who said yes to this, the minute you are unelected or no longer in office, your phone will never ring. These people do not care about you. They will not call you to check on you. Manu Ginobili's not going to send you a text message. Hey, Phyllis, how's life? What's up? What's up, girl? No one's going to care. So who will care? The people whom you live with in your neighborhood and community. They're the ones that are always there. The Spurs are not. They don't give one shit about anybody on that city hall unless this vote passes and then they can move on. They're not going to care about any of them post-election. So I get on. This one pisses me off because I think people at City Hall think they're better than the rest of us. And they've been elected to go down there and champion the people, but they're not. They're going down there. there's two types of elected officials. One that carries the voice, that's a messenger. I'm the messenger. I prefer to be the messenger. I'm bringing the heat from District 6. And then there's the other one that thinks, oh, they elected me to make the choices for them. Right? That's the arrogant. And that's what we have, I think, predominantly at City Hall, which is people who think they've been elected to make the decision for their people. And they'll call them that. My voters, my constituents. No, they're not. It's the community. So you got to watch people's language and words. I'm sorry, I want to monopolize this one, but this one ticks me the shit off because
you're obviously stirred about it.
City Hall is the minor leagues of politics. Doesn't matter, man. Doesn't. And for them to run around pissing on the things that they, like Sakib said, that they campaigned against and joining it when they get elected, just mind-boggling to me. And you're nobody, man. At the end of the day, you go back to your neighborhood, you go back to your community, you're unelected. None of them are going to move up. Most of them city council members don't ever get a higher elected office. They disappear.
Maybe they get a job with an organization that they helped push for.
Well, yeah, it could pay off in the end for a job. That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, watch this. Sakib, why did you run for city council? Why?
Oh, I love the neighborhoods. I grew up in District 8. I mean, all the way from Leon Springs to the medical center. That's for 25 years. That's my hood. And I like literally the neighborhoods. I saw many of them when they were just being constructed. Many of the streets, Wurzbach, Days of Allah, I mean, these are streets that I grew up with. These are names, like household names for me. They're like my friends. So yeah, I wanted to oversee their development, their enhancement, their beautification. That's why I ran.
Yeah.
Shit, that's a good answer, isn't it?
Well, you probably should have said that a few more times. Could have got them votes. Yeah,
I think I did.
Just
I
like I could have got a few more and would have been a different story.
So back to the Peter's comments on the episode that I just listened to. His approach that the only saving grace for the Freeman Coliseum SBC Center, or Frostbank Center now, is the rodeo. That's the best chance to save the east side, is what I understood from listening
the
to
rodeo.
that
Yeah, that's kind of what he said. Yeah.
And from that perspective, maybe in the intermediate term that might be true, but I think there's more opportunity. What do you guys think about this?
So let me say it like this, and what I say will kind of reveal my thinking. I think I mentioned last time. You know that the Ark in St. Louis, the Christ the Redeemer statue in between Argentina and Brazil.
Yeah.
So I think government's role when it comes to creating like virality of certain parts of town that are underdeveloped should be more like these kind of things, so that people go and visit these parts of towns. The more people visit them, the more they're going to look for something to eat. They're going to look for something to buy. And your upkeep would be in its beautification. I don't think it makes sense that the SBC Center and now the Frostbank Center was supposed to be this kind of catalyst for further development or further private investment. Because I just don't see what companies want is different than just an arena or a cool hotel or land bridge or whatever. They're going to look for labor. If there's a particular skill set that San Antonio specializes in, then it would make sense that we would attract that kind of industry. So, for example, UT in Austin, one of the best universities in the country, the intellectual talent pool is very deep in Austin. So it makes sense that a company would be willing to spend millions of dollars in venture capital just to test out the marketability of an idea that they have. Okay, we call those startups. That's what I think city council needs to orient itself in terms of what they think about when they think about attracting industry. Now, when it comes to like building stuff,
Tourist attraction is what you're saying.
no, well, industry. What city council, when it comes to arenas and stuff, I don't see any real relation between building arenas or a nice downtown and attracting corporations. I think it's a real stretch. Other than the money that gets spent when people have conventions here, corporations have conventions here, which is something. That's not nothing. But what could city council do for the east side? Build some beautiful things there. Make it so that people want to visit it, and then you'll see the commerce expand.
And venue tax can be used, as I understood, for that, right?
Venue tax can be used for We built the Tobin Center with it. We built
It's more
Mission Reach with it.
you just make a
can,
case. Right?
You can build it. Doesn't have to be for arenas and convention centers. Project finance zones have to, PFZs. I mean, there's certain dollars that will be allocated. The Spurs are using 3 funding mechanisms. Spurs in the city are using 3 funding mechanisms, and the county to build out and fund this arena and Project Marvel concept. So some of them are restricted dollars, some, but the campaign has lied and said it's all. It can only go to these things, and that's absolutely false. You can build a bunch of other stuff with this money. And the same thing with tax increment reinvestment zones, TERSs and stuff like that, where property taxes are frozen, development comes in, property taxes rise, and those extra dollars between that risen amount, that I guess that delta, goes into a piggy bank and can be spent in the community. So these are complex finance tools that have been roundly ridiculed across the nation. Like there's been multiple stories that have come out that said this is probably one of the worst financial deals that they've seen in arena construction in a long time. And it's complex and it's not very transparent to the taxpayer. And it's hard enough to get them to come out to vote, let alone let them read all these finance tools. So I think what we've got is, and Sakib's absolutely right. Arenas aren't going to bring us corporate influence.
So what saves if Prop A, just to kind of dig into that, if Prop B passes, B is for
the
Spurs,
arena, yeah.
Right.
A is the rodeo.
If B passes and A doesn't, then San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo don't get funding.
I think people are more or less on board with the rodeo. Right, I think the rodeo has a much higher.
But what saves that area?
Oh, none of this shit. No, nothing.
So what's the opportunity for San Antonio to save that district?
So what has happened? This is a tough one because the rodeo,
I don't even know
the rodeo will not save the east side. I think the rodeo offers a lot of fantastic benefits for the community. Year-round rodeo, I'm a bit suspect on that, right? Like, okay, I don't know. I don't know the industry. But I know they give a lot
of stockyards.
Yeah, I mean, you're competing with Houston, you're competing with Vegas, Dallas, Fort Worth, which is the preeminent stockyards in the nation. So it's going to be hard to steal business, but
right.
They have a plan, and they give a lot of money to the community. They're a nonprofit, by the way. So there's a lot of benefits to the rodeo that I can see for the community. And there is a scenario where A passes and B fails. I think the more likely scenario now is that they both pass because the Spurs and their Win Together campaign are an absolute sham and joke of an organization. I think the Spurs have lied. I think the Win Together campaign are a bunch of political hacks with no credibility any further. The other day I saw him putting out a video of Eva Longoria telling San Antonians to vote for Props A and B. Absolute clown show. Whoever's running that campaign is a clown show.
So
because
I want to dive into.
But hold on.
All right, go ahead.
Eva Longoria doesn't even live in America. She left America. I can't be any more clear. Clown show campaign consultants do not put out America haters as their expert on proposition financing for future arenas.
Does she get paid to do that?
I would not doubt. A lot of these influencers are being paid by the Spurs. Yes, people are being paid.
Is there a way to find that information?
They have to disclose it. Whether or not they actually do it, we'll know after the election. But I think the Spurs have successfully probably sold their soul and bought this. Why would they invest $10 million? Folks, if you think it's because it's for the love of the community, who's banking on this money buying the election? Who makes the billions after it, Mau?
Who makes the billions after it
passes and everything starts getting
the real
built?
estate guys.
The real estate guys. The hedge funds.
Yeah.
That's all this is. $10 million is a rounding error in their that's a clean investment for them to make $6 billion over the next 30 years. So look, man, I think that
did you listen to the Beyond the Bite episode?
Yeah, I've listened to parts of it. I like Eddie a lot. He's a good man.
In the beginning, to me, there's a conflict of interest, right? Because in the beginning of the episode, literally before the episode starts, can you guess what plays?
the ad.
Peter Holt on the ad calling for San Antonians to vote yes because of the nostalgia of honking the horns downtown.
Yeah, that's why.
I think there's even some music back there, but
It's bought and paid for, man. Look, these guys are giving away groceries, they're giving away free food, free drinks, free rides to the polls. They're buying everything right now, and it went from 2 to 10 million in the span of 45 days.
So we got Eva Longoria on the influencer network. Who else is on there?
Well, Spurs Jesus jumped all over that too. I wonder if he's being compensated.
Well, didn't he Trish
30 pieces of silver, right? So
yeah,
Spurs Judas, that's what it should be. But hey, look, man. I mean, I got it. You got the money. You're desperate. The polling came back bad. You pump all the cash in.
Economy's kind of crappy right now.
You got to have the win. But look, I think overall, Peter Sakai, I think he's going to have his hands full right now, and he's got Ron Nirenberg breathing down his neck. Nirenberg's going to run for judge. Sakai is a tough, crafty old veteran. He put this on the ballot. He's got to make sure it passes. I don't really take too much from what Beyond the Bite says because it's just political
advertising. It's
political elite conversation, and I love Eddie. I think Eddie's smarter than all shit, but I think we know where he's at on this, and he's in support of it, and he's not going to bring in a lot of opposition to that. But there's influencers and people all day long getting paid right now. They're coming out of the woodwork. Saw some dude the other day, Young King or something like that. He's got like 300,000 followers. Some San Antonio guy. Okay. And he's out there talking about the Spurs, and I just got off the phone, or I just met with R.C. Buford. He ran me down the pros and cons, and man, we could get an NFL stadium out of this.
We're not getting an NFL.
I was like, we're not getting an NFL stadium out of this. So complete misinformation, and this is what we're going to get, man. So I think since this is probably the last one we'll do for the election, we should probably do a prognostication.
Yeah.
And say what we think the vote's going to be.
Can you see the
is it because this is
exhaustion in my face?
Next Friday would already be over.
Yeah, today's the last day of early. We're recording Friday, right? Today's the last day of early voting.
So I'll go and I'll say, I think the Spurs have bought themselves a win. I probably go like 51 to 52. They'll pass both. I think the rodeo will be a little bit higher.
Yeah,
I think A will be a little bit higher and B will be a little lower. A little tighter than they wanted, but I think they've sold enough of their soul. They only fansed their life, the Spurs did, and they'll buy a win. And we'll get a bunch of "I told you so's," and people are like, "Hey, you lost, and you tried to stop." In reality, these are all bought and paid for fools, and some of them are my very good friends of mine who've cut me off or treated me like crap over my opposition to it. Shame on them. I mean, I think it's embarrassing we took this and turned it into a wedge issue to destroy our city. And off in the name of for basketball players, when kids may not be eating tomorrow. Some of these SNAP funds don't come through. Kids may not have food tomorrow. But
that's currently happening, right? Bill Miller's just donated, I think, $150 million to San Antonio Food Bank to kind of save Meals on Wheels or something.
Trying to save all kinds,
not San Antonio Food Bank, or both. Could be wrong, but I mean, it's very real. That's the city environment that we're in. We're in an impoverished city, and unfortunately, I don't think this saves us. And you could mark my words, but down the line, we're gonna need much more productivity within the city. And I've said that before. Much like you, I think with all the advertising that I've seen in the past couple of weeks, I think it passes. I would actually go higher, man. I would go like 60% on the Spurs prop B,
maybe,
and I'd probably lean towards the 51, 52 on the prop A for stock show.
All right, I'm gonna say it still fails, and here's my reason.
I hope you're
why. Right. The online chatter, the fervency against it is stronger, and I think the people that are against it are more motivated to come out, and the people that are for it, I don't think they can really, they'll get some flyers in the mail, but that's about it, and I don't think that's enough to push. You don't
think they'll show up?
I don't think the people that are for it are enough, because the passion for it, I'm not seeing much passion for it.
Very limited scope. It is.
Right?
That is true. It's the same.
But I'm seeing passion against it.
Oh, yeah.
You're seeing passion against it more than for it?
Yeah.
I'm seeing the opposite in my network.
I probably see more against it, but that has shifted. There's been more for now because they've come out with vocal influencers. And that's a move that seemed really weird, right? Like you could tell like Samantha Nahara from Bean and Cheese Man. I don't know if you know her.
Yeah.
She came out with a paid advertisement. So she's a paid influencer for the Spurs, which is fine. I mean, she get paid for it. She get paid for it. More power to her. But and she disclosed it too. She wasn't hiding it. She says this is paid for by the Win Together campaign. So credit to her. She completely disclosed it. But how many people are getting paid that haven't disclosed it yet?
Yeah, I mean that's the world of advertising today. Is you tap into the influencers because the influencers are going to get people.
So the crazy thing is, read the comments.
Oh, they're always
these posts.
They're mostly against.
Yeah.
On the
yes,
on the bean and cheese mayo you're talking about.
Well, her audience will praise her. She's got a very loyal audience, so I'd probably say it's maybe 50-50, a little more for. But most every group I check, it's predominantly opposed, and that tells you that there's energy against it clearly, and that's why I think it's going to be close.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they should be more motivated. I think early on you see a lot of. I talked to somebody who said, "Hey, I'm out at Lions Field. There sure does look like there's a lot of yes votes coming out." Well, sure, those people come early and fast.
Mm-hmm.
The opposition is going to take their time, but they're
especially
coming
to that side of town, right? Lions Field.
That's
the connection between
that's
downtown
the zone.
and
That's the zone.
Suburbia.
So I think this would fail. Here's the thing. It's going to fail in Republican circles. There's no doubt about that.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
Even with Mark pushing as hard as he is.
Mark's a friend, so be very disclaimer. Mark's on the wrong side of the issue.
But the friends see that.
Yeah, everybody knows he's on the wrong side of the issue. So in Republican Party politics, it's going down. The Bexar County Republican Party endorsed against it. So it's going down. And
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. So you have, it's just, they're not, Republican Party's got to be very careful. You come out against it like that, then the Democrats come in for it. It just turns weird when it gets partisan.
Have the Democrats taken a position?
I don't know if they have or haven't, but I've seen several Democrats out in support of it.
Yeah.
So
I've seen more of.
And you've seen more lately, too, of these elected officials coming out in favor of it now. So they're in trouble. They know it. The signs are all there. As a political consultant, the signs are all there. Influencers out of nowhere, an increase in paid ads, more elected officials coming out, more attacks on the people in support of it. So you know that their polling's not good. So here comes the onslaught, right, at the end, and that's what usually wins it and pushes it over the top.
Mm-hmm.
But what you see is the Republican base, and the Republicans in general are going to be against it. But what's unique about this is the far left is against it.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Okay, so here's the winning formula for those that are against. 60% of Republicans oppose this, and this 20 to 25% of the left opposes it. Now you've got a weird coalition forming that's just enough to get the win. And that's the formula. Normally I ran a campaign to beat back the streetcar back in the day, and a few other times I've gotten into it. Is the success has always come on initiatives and ballot-based stuff like this, is when one hard base is against it and it's managed to motivate the other side. This has brought all sides everybody's pissed off on both sides, right? So it's given a coalition of sorts that can produce a victory to take it down.
So what's the situation with the land bridge?
Oh,
why did that get canceled?
Because it looks bad, stupid.
No, but why did it get canceled?
Because it's stupid.
No, it was reliant on federal grants.
Yeah, that's just a lie.
Oh, that's not true?
No, they're lying to you. They know this is 100%. They know that the land bridge looked ridiculous in this conversation. So I'm sure some of the funding may be federal funds. I'm not saying it's not. That's not why they canceled the land bridge. They canceled it because it is a pariah. And the minute you try to sell this $200 million goofy bridge, it looks ridiculous. You can't have that conversation. The Spurs, by the way, over the last 2 weeks have distanced themselves from Project Marvel. They've literally said, whoa. No, that's not us. We're just our little home over here. So they think Project Marvel's a drag, because it is, and people get confused over Project Marvel, Spurs Arena, rodeo, and all that. But they did it to themselves. They ran this campaign where it was all together.
Yeah.
Nah, it looks ridiculous.
Right.
And the land bridge is absolutely stupid.
So what's the narrative? They're saying that federal funding got canceled?
Yeah, something like that.
The federal funding's been canceled for a minute. With the implementation
of
the Doge program.
There was this like a specific grant geared towards like this kind of like land bridges, like park adjacent type projects. And so when that grant got canceled,
an excuse.
Okay. So maybe they use it as an excuse.
Yeah, it's just an excuse. It's a ridiculous project. That was probably the worst polling item on that list of projects. And it reminds everybody of the stupid Critter Bridge over the what's that? Hardburger Park. Nobody cares, man. Like nobody needs to walk over a land bridge.
Was that on council's end in terms of like announcing, hey, this got canceled, or was that on county's end?
I'm sure it was a bunch of them saying this is stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine when campaigns are struggling like this at the end, you're flailing, like there's the signs are throwing cash at everybody, overwhelming presence all of a sudden out of nowhere, mocking those who are against, and an elimination of stupid parts of your plan. Like, and this is it, right? Like, if you go around saying, hey man, I think we should put blankety blank on every corner of San Antonio, blah, 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 and it doesn't poll well, what are you going to do? Oh, that's not happening. That was dumb. I never should have said a bus stop on every corner. Like, so you pull your ideas out and you tend to change your plan. And it's the same thing with the sauce chiller plant. That was going to be $200 million.
Right?
They're like, well, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we don't need that hotel after all right there. To Sakib's point, they create this Frankenstein in honor of Halloween today. They create this Frankenstein project behind closed doors. And everyone's like, oh, Project Marvel comes out, right? And Frankenstein's got bad body parts, man. And so the land bridge is one of them. And so you have to start picking away pieces of it because the residents are coming with pitchforks and they're coming after Frankenstein, right? So they're cutting their losses and doing what they can. I mean, these people, they treat residents like idiots. I don't know how else to put it. Like,
I'd almost take a land bridge over an arena. That's just my take because I don't want to give money to the people who have money to fund some of this stuff. Right?
$200 billion, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I personally like these kind of projects, right? Land
bridge.
Like,
it goes back to your
like if the one at Phil Hardburger Park doesn't look good, like you can make it better. But I like these kind of like
to me that Hardburger Park bridge was a
beautification.
waste, but I digress.
I think that thing is dumb.
Stupidest thing.
I actually haven't been on it yet. Have you guys been on it?
I have no intention.
I think you have to be a squirrel or a...
No, there is a way to walk on
varmint.
It,
Yeah,
right?
there's a walkway. There's a walkway to it, but
I bet the view would be beautiful.
How much did it cost?
The view of Wurzbach Parkway?
No, I mean...
I know, I was going to say, like, what's there? Neighborhoods?
No, once you get at a certain elevation, like even looking at...
Look at that single-family home. Yeah, it's amazing.
It was an expensive project. I forgot the price on it, but yeah, it was
$40 million or something.
Ridiculous.
The city kicked in 15.
Did Hardburger pay for that?
No, Hardburger raised a lot of money for it.
Okay.
But the city, I think, kicked in $15 million.
Why did they put the city's name on it instead of Hardburger?
I don't know, man. I'm still waiting for Brockhouse Park off of Marbach Road.
I'll take a Brockhouse Park over
have a gun range on it.
Yeah,
but anyways.
All right, so no land bridge. No land bridge, and this likely passes. Without further negotiation, I've always said vote down, let it further negotiate, because it will. It will. They want to push this, but the perspective is they have to pass it now to limit the competition. That's just where I sit. Let's move on. Silk Road District. We talked about this briefly last week. Tell us a little more about it. Let's start with that.
So the Silk Road District. Okay, let's look at it in terms of. Are you guys familiar with the term micro district?
Yeah.
Okay, so like the Pearl is a micro district. La Cantera is kind of like a micro district. It's a place where you can work, plenty of shopping options, food options, and you can potentially live there too, right? So
apartment complex, multifamilies.
Right. So the Silk Road District is a strip of Wurzbach Road that goes from I-10 to Fredericksburg. It's a very narrow strip, but there's so much potential. When you look at the condition of many of the major thoroughfares in District 8, Babcock, Prue, Huebner, De Zavala, they're beautiful, they're wide, they're clean. Wurzbach is nothing like them. Wurzbach feels like the odd man out. And I feel it more because I live on Wurzbach.
Why is that? Why has that been limited in terms of development perspective?
You know, I can think of a lot of reasons. One of them, it's like the demographic of a lot of the businesses on Wurzbach are very different than.
So racism is inspired?
I mean, I wouldn't just use that term, right? But
well, tell me deeper. What do you mean by that?
So the people that
sounds like you want to say you're being targeted.
No. So it's
free to pick the fight, man.
Like if you want to put it under blanket racism, you can. But that would be kind of like black and whiting it.
Yeah.
So let's.
We don't want to Nick Fuentes.
No pun intended.
No pun intended, right? Okay, so the people that that operate businesses there are oftentimes people that don't advocate for themselves to government. So Alibaba, Baklava, Pasha, these business owners are very friendly people. They love the community, but they won't think to ask their elected representative to get the sidewalk cleaned, to get the grass cut, to do something about the 100-year-old electrical poles that are wooden and just falling apart.
So Mesa has an easy job as of right now. Then
I mean,
who's holding their feet to the fire when it comes to this kind of stuff?
I don't think anybody's really making any hard asks, and I think that's the real. It's not her. It's people aren't really making hard requests. Right. Yeah. So if I won, my plan was, I wanted this massive like beautification of Wurzbach Road. So okay. So then we go back to what is the Silk Road district, right? So
Wurzbach Road is a big road. So give me the details.
So from I-10 to Fredericksburg.
Okay.
It's a very narrow strip. So we have areas around town like King William's District, for example.
Mhm.
That's a specific, or the St. Mary's Strip, which is a specific boundary where money goes towards cultivating a theme for that area.
Mhm.
So to Manny's credit, he got this passed, right? So we have the Silk Road District. There's signs on Wurzbach, and something is going to be there. And it's up to the current council member to determine what it's going to look like. What are you going to advocate for? What are you going to do to make this place look special? This is the first of its kind in the North Side. You know, we have plenty of these things in downtown, these kind of special neighborhoods. But what's going to happen to it? So it is the most diverse. I would say it's the diversity hub of San Antonio. Over the past few years, there's been a massive influx of refugees from Afghanistan, from Iraq, that have moved because the Center for Refugee Services is located there.
In terms of diversity, you're speaking directly to diversity within South Asian parts of the world, Middle Eastern parts of the world.
So,
because you don't see a lot of taquerias there. I mean, maybe there's one.
There's one.
Bill Millen.
The best one is there.
Bill Miller's?
Mi Señor. It's
Mi Señor?
Mi Señor is there. That is the best one. On
Taqueria Jalisco's there too.
Right
on the corner of
a Chinese
Data
restaurant too.
Point.
Isn't Golden?
Yeah, Golden Walk's block away from Taqueria Jalisco.
That's good. That's good. Yeah,
There's a few.
Yeah. No. But when I point out the diversity from these particular countries, it's because it's not just the businesses; the people live there. 80% of the residents of the apartment complexes on Wurzbach are Afghan refugees. 80%. There's a school, Compass Rose, just a few minutes outside of there. The students' families live in District 8 in the medical center. But that school is almost more than 60% children of Afghan refugees.
How long have you been in that area?
Like 3 years.
So that area, Greg, you might know this. I don't know if you knew about this, but like Planeta Mexico. Remember Planeta Mexico? To me, that area used to be very Hispanic. So when I was going to Clark, Hobby, a lot of my friends lived in that Data Point Medical Center area, and then you had Planeta Mexico, which was a club, Mexican club, that was right in the corner there. And then something shifted. I don't know what exactly inspired people to move into that part of town from Afghanistan and a couple of others, because I remember being at school and we had a couple of refugees that came in.
So it's the Center for Refugee Services and the Medical Center plus the Islamic Center of San Antonio, the mosque, which is the second mosque in San Antonio. The first being, which is something that you would be interested in, it was called the Hayes Street Mosque. Because the first mosque in San Antonio was on the east side.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So that happened, what, post 2005? No, it happened before, because I graduated 07.
So there was a trickling of Afghan refugees that came, like, I want to say right after 9/11. As weird as
I didn't want to sound right.
Yeah.
Sound like I was saying something, but
no, like I met many of them because I was also going to high school at that time, and I was like, how did you get here? Like, of all places, like, but they're there. But the real influx came after the Taliban took over Afghanistan. That's when a huge lot of them.
The recent movement in 2021.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whenever the U.S. pulled out.
I think San Antonio was I don't remember at the time what the policy, the national policy was. I'm kind of curious. I got to go look it up, and I don't have time to obviously check it out right now. But I think San Antonio was a hub drop off for Afghan refugee relocations. Because there was a time I remember where it was getting publicity that we were online to get a lot of Afghanis.
Yeah.
And
Flown to Lackland or
all of it. I
Trying to
think
think,
it's
yeah.
because of our hub as a military hub.
say.
The airstrips, the SAMC, Randolph, Camp Bullis, Lackland,
Mhm.
the Old Kelly. I mean, we were in position to receive quite a few refugees from across the world. But there was a time period when it was mainly Afghanistan, and it was also, I think what made the news mostly was Afghan refugees, they're men
Mhm.
who were embedded with military forces too. That's most of the ones the news covered, because
Military
people-
forces of U.S. side.
yes, U.S. side, because people tend to forget this. The Afghan people that were refugees and came to America, a lot of time they were clearly anti-Taliban. They
Right.
supported American intervention. They supported it in their communities. That's why we relocated them. That's how we got
They're
them
gonna
the
be
hell out of there.
targeted.
But yeah, they were being targeted. And these men that would step up and embed themselves with U.S. armed forces, frankly, we left a lot of them over there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what came to America during that time period, I don't even think covered near majority of what we left
no.
behind. We left men over there who were fighting side by side with American special forces. They were embedded. They were language translators. They
So
were.
we saw that sad video of them hopping aboard.
So
we,
one,
the planes.
we left a lot of people behind, but that's what got advertised during that time period, because there was a couple. There's one gentleman, he was trying to get over here. He had his, he couldn't get his family, large families, by the way. He had like 12 in his family. And he got some publicity. A lot of people were trying to jump in and help him because he was an embedded military specialist with the Delta Force or some special operations organization. And he was being tracked because all the special ops guys were forming, this is no bullshit, they were forming social media groups,
To
Facebook
go, right?
groups,
wow.
to try to help their old partners, the old embedded men that were with them during these campaigns. They knew they got left behind. So they were trying to organize transportation, flights, government intervention for visas to get all these men and women and their families over to America. And one guy in particular, I'm going to find this story so we can talk about it next week. But several special operators formed a Facebook group, and I was put into it because of some local connections and some other things when I was on the council and other people that I was working with. Wounded Warriors was involved. All these people were involved to try to get this guy.
It inspired a film, I think, with Gyllenhaal.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if you
Lone
saw that
Survivor,
film.
right? Lone
Yeah,
Survivor,
there's-
Marcus Luttrell.
But no, there's another film where these Delta guys come back, and one
They-
specific Delta guy played by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, to get his to
So
get
I
him
was like,
back.
yeah, he's like, I'm going back.
But
Oh.
there's so like
You haven't seen this?
even in
Good
Lone
movie.
Survivor, that the story of Lone Survivor too, the gentleman that helped Marcus Luttrell when he was captured,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't remember. You're gonna forgive me, but it was something about Pashtunwali or something like that.
The hospitality code.
Yes. So there's a code in their culture, in Afghan culture, where if one person's out on his own, or he or she is struggling or under attack or whatever, that the village protects that person.
Oh, wow.
And it's called Pashtunwali or something like that. So like even Marcus Luttrell went back to get this guy. Like there was a massive calling to help Afghan refugees. And I think we got all kind of 9/11'd out with the whole bullshit. So people did get upset in San Antonio to some extent with this influx of these refugees, but it didn't catch any major fire. I think because a lot of these people were supportive of the American mission to free to oppose the Taliban and some of these other regions. Obviously, there were Iraqi refugees too. And
Yeah, oh, yeah.
it wasn't just Afghan refugees. But what's cool, I don't know, man. I think it's an interesting piece, right? Because the Silk Road District or the newer neighborhoods, Wurzbach, the Hebners, the Dezavallas, everything going up north to Stone Oak, there's no culture embedded in any of these areas because
Mhm.
it's a wealth-based area of our community. They got great roads and great streets. The reason we see these districts, these LGBT districts down, the St. Mary's Strip, we see them down around the Hay Street Bridge, we see them in the Heritage District on the south side. I tend to think a lot of these areas get these designations because they've been pissed on for so many years and ignored, right? So we end up designating areas in our community. Okay, we have to give this a special designation because they've been ignored for so long. Their infrastructure doesn't make sense. There hasn't been business investment. There's been an influx of crime. So we, as leaders, tend to designate areas as that are going to receive special city incentives. And it's usually a more rundown, place that's been beat up by crime and drugs and whatever.
Right.
And then we go in and we invest in these short strips, and it builds up, profitability, commercialization, gentrification, whatever you want to call it. Wurzbach Road is in a more newer, I guess you can say, right? But it is, to Sakib's point, the worst probably street in the region. But if I always encourage people to do this, man, because this whole 9/11 shit's really screwed up, and we're 25 years later, right? 25 years later, it has really screwed up our respect and relationship and camaraderie with the Muslim community. I mean, in Islam, right? Mm-hmm. It's really just destroyed so I encourage people, go down that street. I send people all the time to Pasha because it's the safest starting point to Pasha. It's the most commercial you can. Okay, bro, go to Pasha.
Pasha's good, man.
Go to Pasha. Or now it's baklava, right?
That's still Pasha.
That's the bakery.
Yeah, the bakery. I'll send them there, and I'm like, bro, you got to go try this food. There's a guy called King of Shawarma too. He's
yeah.
So I always send him. I get him in a little bit. I'm like, bro, I'm not asking you to go to the mosque. Go to Pasha.
No, absolutely not.
Because the culture is beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
So and it's a cool, unique opportunity because all these other newer neighborhoods, they're not going to have. There's nothing special about them. They're just badass houses with big yacht lots and fancy streets and everything looks great. But eventually, there will be a Stone Oak district. Because 75 years from now, Stone Oak's going to be...
Right. When they're going to move out to Bulverde.
Hey, man, you remember we had that golf course out there? That golf course is going to be the Riverside. And you know how Riverside's kind of like a crapped-on course on the south side, although they're putting a lot of money into it. But eventually, Stone Oak's going to be the old side of town, or because the new money's going to move somewhere else, right, or further out. So these culture districts are cool, and they give They put the eyes back on the areas we've ignored. And that's what makes San Antonio kind of cool, man. That's why I'm kind of a little upset. Like the Spurs Arena is not going to make San Antonio cool. I mean, I hope they win a championship. They're 5-0.
They will, man. They've been playing a hell of a game the past couple of games.
Yeah, we don't want them to leave, and we want, that may very well get the win too, because people are like, "Ooh, dang, the Spurs are 5-0."
I mean, I hope they go to the championship, dude.
Yeah, I hope so. But the Silk Road thing's pretty cool. And it's not just, Pasha and Zatar, and
I honestly think
there's a great Vietnamese restaurant on there.
Yeah,
right next to a Starbucks. I can't remember the name.
It's
of
the
it.
best thing I think that's happened to that area.
Banh Mi or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
There's a great. I mean, everything's fantastic. A lot of great food up and down Wurzbach, and credit to Plius. I mean, I got to. It's difficult for me to squirm in my chair when I see that, but I mean, it's got a lot of potential. I hope Evilise does something with it, because we got to recognize more cultures than I don't mean any offense by this. We got to recognize more than the LGBT community and Hispanics.
You're going to get canceled for saying that.
I'm going to get canceled for that. Like, I'm not saying we have to have White Guy Street and do that. I'm not saying that. It's not about that. But there's a lot of other cultures that built up San Antonio.
I think so. The Silk Road district, right?
Silk
Road district has absolutely helped that side of town. I mean, I spent a lot of time in that area, high school, and this is what, 2000 to 2007, we'll say. And it was rough. I don't know what crime statistics are today, but I could tell you now, I have a lot of friends who were involved in some shady shit back in the day. And Wurzbach Manor, that whole area, it was, I mean, it's
Wurzbach Manor.
So everything that's been developed there, I think it's good. It's good for that side of town because it's starting to draw more attention to that area. And more attention means less, in my opinion, less crime activity.
What excited me about it and why I made it an issue on the campaign, I mean, it wasn't on like my website platform or anything. But it would get me excited to talk about it is because it's just prime for development and beautification. Simply just widening the sidewalks, removing the grass, taking down the wooden electrical poles would add so much in terms of beautification to it. The businesses will take care of themselves. Once you make the place beautiful, the businesses will come. And I was looking forward to inviting, there's some really good restaurants in Houston. And Wurzbach, the Silk Road District, could end up being just about food. And that would be enough. Because food is like the safest.
I'd be happy with that. Sure.
Right? So there's a very famous street in Pakistan, in Lahore, called Food Street, where it's just every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, they close down the street. It's like 6th Street in Austin. They close down two ends, and a bunch of food trucks and carts and stuff open, and the best food.
Well, 6th Street, you'll get shot in today's day.
So 6th Street is not fun anymore, right?
No.
No, but like Wurzbach could have been Food Street,
Yeah.
or it could be Food Street, right? Where certain days we cut off both ends and it's just park somewhere and walk.
Yeah,
So-
it's definitely some of the best food in town, in my opinion. But I am biased. I love halal and I love everything about Mediterranean food. So
It's funny, like halal is like, especially in New York, people talk about halal food as if it's like a combination of certain spices or style of cooking or something. When it's literally just saying God's name before you slaughter the
yeah, I was
animal.
gonna say it's about
That's
Feeling-
it, right?
Yeah, I don't even understand that, so I'm just like, whatever. I don't even try.
I mean,
I'm just looking
kosher.
for. I'm
Like-
just yeah, it's like kosher.
Yeah.
I only got acquainted with it because there's a halal guys that's famous now. Maybe it was famous back then. I don't think it was that famous back then. But when I was working in New York, we worked 2 blocks away from the halal guys on 54th or 53rd, right by the MoMA, and we would literally get halal guys every day.
So they're a chain now.
Yeah,
They're all over the country.
yeah, I know. I found one in Austin one time. There was one on the Strip.
Yeah.
I think it closed now, but
It's simple chicken over rice.
yeah, but it's the best, dude.
Yeah,
It's good. It's good.
King of
If you're
shawarma, dude.
savage, you
King
get
of
sauce
shawarma.
on it.
King of
you know?
shawarma should be a lot.
King of shawarma's good.
There should be a line at that place.
Oh, I'm not saying it's the best because I don't know what the best is or not. But if I was to have to go eat something, I had my choice, not have to, but if I had to go there and that was what I'm going to eat, I would go to King of Shawarma. Over Pasha. I hate to say it, but
So yeah, their shawarmas are better for sure.
yeah, because it's they have these pickled vegetables too that are
Yeah.
Those are good, dude.
No, and they
plus they're super nice. Like these dudes
Yeah.
are super nice. Like
they toast it.
the
Wait, they toast
The
what?
the
Pickles?
bread.
oh yeah. Their stuff is legit. And it's right next to the gas station.
Yeah.
It's a really odd location, but every time I go by there, but we got turned on to that a few years ago, and you pay, you're going to pay for it. It's not cheap. Like
Yeah.
it's not $9.99, but you got 2 days worth of food from that guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's piling the
Oh,
grub
for
in
sure.
there, but
That's how it should be.
yeah, but
Shawarma should
you
always be that way.
you gotta think about these things, man. These cultural districts, and I think over time these communities get kind of upset because I think we got into a run of doing things on social justice type stuff. And ain't nothing against the LGBT community. I don't advocate for anything against them. I don't have any problem with that. Sometimes in political campaigns, like I kind of got sideways with the LGBT community because of Chick-fil-A when I was fighting against Chick-fil-A getting kicked out of the airport, but I only fought against it because it's a business call. Like they're the #1 food chain in the country and we're kicking them out of the airport because of their religious beliefs. I thought that was just dead wrong. But that kind of burned me with a lot of LGBT community people, and they thought, oh, this guy's anti whatever. And I'm not. I don't really care. I mean, love who you want to love, do what you ever want to do, man. It doesn't bother me in the least bit. But I think we like what gets the news, rainbow crosswalks, like that gets the news, right? Like,
Yeah, that's the big hype right now, right?
and
'Cause
it's a big
they're
thing right
torn
now,
out.
right? Because the mayor's down there, everybody, they were trying to save the crosswalk. Abbott's coming after it, and all these other things. But we've got a lot of areas in San Antonio that are just left behind, and so some of our gems are this Silk Road area has a huge potential. And I like it because to me, it's always around food. I don't know what it is.
Food is safe.
It's
Something
safe and
everybody
it's
enjoys.
it's something everybody enjoys, and it's and then you've got I think the missions district. We put a lot of money and focus down on the missions, which has been fantastic. We've left the east side out completely. I think we've tried. We tried with the arena. We've tried with the Hay Street Bridge area. We put the Alamo Brewery beer freaking place down there, and it only goes so far. Right, it only goes like 1 block east of 37 is as far as we've gotten to help the east side. And I hope that somebody in Jalen has success in getting money and resources over there. Because I'll tell you this, some of the best places I ever campaigned for any political office were in the east side. I love knocking doors in the east side.
And they mobilize, man. I just got a call from
Souls to the polls, man.
You heard of what is it? UHIA? UHIA. It's a big neighborhood. I think it's one of the biggest neighborhoods over there.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a call from someone who I had met during the campaign, friend, and he's like, "Hey, can we have you speak at this event?" And I guess because they're starting to campaign for representation again. But I do hope for the best. I think most of the people that I've met during the campaign were predominantly in District 2.
Yeah, man,
right?
they're active and engaged,
and
man.
I still stay engaged with them. I have coffee with at least 3 members every.
They get pissed off at me
couple
sometimes.
months.
Like I post some stuff about Trump,
They hate
and I'll
Trump.
get it on the side. Like, hey, man, I didn't think you were like this. I'm like
That's
what?
you meant last week.
Yeah. Man, I get it. I mean, I understand. But people, the politics, you're either 100% with them or you're against them.
Yep.
But the East Side has like fantastic food. Right? It's all around food. Like, and I think we've just left that community behind, and we don't invest money. So we talk about where our money goes, and cultural districts help point those resources out. Absolutely. But the city's process has been historically and probably will be. This is what pisses me off about them, is that we're jumping through hoops like this for the Spurs, and the East Side is just left behind. There really is no bad. Like, and it's I would liken it to what's happened to the near West Side, just west of UTSA's downtown campus.
They're dealing with drainage issues.
District
Still
5.
today,
District
2025.
5. Where did we put Haven for Hope? Friggin' West Side. Where's the jail? The friggin' West Side. Like, we put these places that I think have predominantly kept San Antonio. So one of the things, the biggest complaints right now about this campaign with the Spurs, right, is people saying, hey, you want to keep us a hick town. We need to be forward thinking. This is transformational and all this other bullshit. No, man, it's really not. Like, transformational is getting Haven for Hope out of the West Side so we don't dump our problems in certain areas of town. It's like the jail is there. A lot of halfway houses. I mean, it's just a real mess. If you want to worry about your life, go walk around Life Restored Church in Haven for Hope at 1 a.m. in the morning.
Unarmed.
Yeah, don't take any weapons with you. But it's not fair. I mean, it's completely unfair. And then the progressives run around City Hall. Look, I'm for the people. Badass me. And I'm here to fight the good fight and rainbow crosswalks and all this other crap. And people are sitting over there struggling.
Homeless.
Addicted. We're putting the crap in there. We're not putting the money in there to revitalize and build. And you got great representation like Terry Castillo, who I absolutely love. Like, I think Terry is a phenomenal leader. And she can't get resource 1 more than anybody else, and they need it. Districts 2 and 5 need a bulk of support over every other district in the city right now. And I think we continually fail at it. And, I hope that stuff changes. I hope somebody says we need to have the same urgency for all these other things as we do for the Spurs.
So what is it? Is it because it's not hard to form a coalition, in my opinion, with the rest of your council members, right? If you're at D2 or if you're at D5.
Oh, it's super hard to.
Well, why? Why is it difficult to, right? Like, hey, form this coalition with me on this. Help me push this. And then I'm going to help you with what you need. What's the difficulty in that? Is there conflict of interest? Is it just money that's...
Yeah, I would say it's personalities.
It's personality. It's really the
That's
personality and the
ridiculous.
politics. That's back what I told you, man. These people think they're the minor leagues of politics, man. Like, I went down there with a sincere attitude to know I wasn't shit. Now, I was going to talk shit about everything, but nah, I'm not any better than anybody else. And people tend to get in the job and they think they are, right? So then you get these little fiefdoms built up in districts, and people want to, they want to try to fight and argue and over a very small pool of money. But who causes the problem is the staff. The staff dictates 80% of everything, and a city council member comes in 3/4 of the way through when things are already finished. The ideas are put together.
About city staff or council staff?
City staff. City staff does most of all this work at City Hall. And it's all laid out on a platter for the council member to pick and choose their menu item, right? They're not involved in the actual behind the kitchen door making of the menu.
Why not?
Well, they just don't engage. Like, and by charter too, we have limitations in the charter. I don't know if anybody knew this, but per the city charter, a council member cannot direct a staff member to do anything. We cannot fire anybody.
Well, I could see that.
We can't do anything. So you get the menu at the end, and then you're saying, I'll take this, this, and this. So the menu is Eric Walsh saying, hey, I have an extra $25 million. What would you like to do out of a $4 billion budget? Well, this is the extra money we have. What do y'all want to fight over for this? So then you get council districts competing against each other. I tell you, one of the best people I worked with on council was Roberto Trevino. Him and I got along fantastic. Rebecca Villagran. We got along great and partnered and did as much as we could. And I had a lot of good relationships. I also had some really bad ones, like because they just live in the partisan politics of it. And people, when I was on, they started shifting towards this crap. Like one time on a council, Shirley Gonzalez, former councilwoman, I don't even know where she ended up, where she went or what
she's in the city council of a city in Colorado where she lives now.
Yeah?
Oh, wow.
She called me a
That's
sexist racist one day. Like,
Who's this? What's her name?
Shirley Gonzalez?
Shirley Gonzalez, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Shirley Gonzalez.
She called me a sexist racist one day, like, because she's hyper partisan.
So you're not?
I don't know if I have to self-evaluate, but no, but it was a stupid argument, and some people just don't want to work with you, and it's attitude, it's politics, it's I can't work with a Republican or I can't work with a Democrat but hey, man, like Roberto and I got a great relationship, got all kinds of shit done together.
Is he a Democrat?
Or hardcore, believes in a lot of opposite shit I believe in.
Do you have a business background?
Ish.
Maybe
I don't know. I mean, he's an architect.
You
You know
know
what that
rule-
dude?
I got a business background.
That's what I'm saying, because rules of business is like, yo, it's just business. You
know
go
what
aside,
rule-
it's just business. You make
Right.
decisions based on
Yeah,
the business
but
perspective.
you can't take government and turn it into a business because
Right.
businesses don't care. Businesses are about profit. Government's about people.
Right.
So you can't. It's
Well,
not
fiduciary responsibility.
fiduciary responsibility is fine, but
Right?
Like-
Fiduciary responsibility to shareholders, fiduciary responsibility.
I'll tell you right now, I'd
They're really
fiduciarily.
close.
I'm going to make up a word here. I
Yeah.
would fiduciarily go broke to make sure people eat.
Yeah.
And I would cut the shit out of budgets to make sure people eat and they're safe. And if I'm going to draw a budget deficit or I'm going to run out of money, I would do anything I could to make sure people eat. Kids have diapers. They don't sleep on the floor. I mean, there's basic shit we
But
got to
bit-
do as a city, man.
I'll push back on your perspective that it's politics, not business, because business and politics are very closely related,
Well,
right?
1 second. Okay.
Yeah.
So before we go to this next one,
Yeah.
to your previous question of why these council members aren't able to form coalitions.
Yeah.
One more point on that.
Yeah.
I think what you saw in this past election with the amount of council members that are running for mayor is a good illustration to show you why they actually can't get along. It's because they're actually looking out for the next election. And they all see themselves as potential mayors, potential state reps, congressmen, senators. And so
Is that why people called me an opportunist?
people call you an opportunist?
Yeah,
You're
and
an
I'm like, I'm just
opportunist,
trying
bro.
to fix my city.
I mean,
What do you mean? In what context?
An opportunist that I was trying to put my name on something, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about putting my name on anything.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know the background.
So I mean,
of
there's
that.
different. I understand what
No,
your
but-
perspective
but-
you're bringing.
But for example, with the amount of council members that ran for mayor, I can see
You're
these
saying
people-
specifically to council members,
specifically the
not
council-
new
so-
people that are incoming.
Right. I mean, your question was like, why can't they form coalitions to get bigger things done? I think it's because they all see themselves as a potential mayor,
This is a step to.
Oh, that's true.
and they want to maintain the aura of being a leader,
Mhm.
and that prevents them from being able to get into the mud of policy and work with people.
And that's a very good point. I sat with I'm the kind of guy right in politics in San Antonio, and I'll self-admit
Mhm.
a lot of these people on the council, these other leaders, and they're like that. They won't on the record say they're talking to me, but they all talk to me.
Mhm.
It's the dumbest thing. Like I tell people who I talk to, I don't give a shit. I mean,
Right.
if you got a problem with me being friends with
Nobody
Roberto
should.
Trevino, I don't care. I'm not afraid of my friends.
Right.
But there are council members and over the years and elected officials and political players and business people that will reach out, a few of them, on the council, and they'll ask for help or give me comments and ask me for advice, and then they'll fight me in the public. Like it's just, and I'm okay with that, right? Because
So weak.
it's politics. I'm okay with it. I mean, it's politics, and people got to protect their jobs and positions. But I was met with a couple people that were going to run for mayor, 3 of them, and I met with about 7 or 8 actually, but 2 or 3 were elected. And I was sitting with one of them in particular, and this person said,
What's his name?
"This I got to be very careful. I'm going to they them the whole conversation." They said, "This is my credentials, and I'm running, and I'm going for it. I want to know how you did it. How'd you get there? Because I got the 49%.
Yeah.
And how'd you do it?" And because I want to kind of mirror that. I'm like, well, number one, you can't mirror it.
Right.
Was unique and was flash in a bottle, man. Like it's just the moment. Number 2, nobody knows who the hell you are. This person was like, "What are you talking about? I do this and I chair this and I've been here for this many years." I'm like, "Yeah, nobody knows. So go poll yourself.
Chair.
Go poll yourself." That actually sounds pretty bad. Go. There goes a cancel and go. Hey man, go poll yourself. So I shouldn't have done that. Go run a poll about your popularity, and then when it's sub 2 or below, you let me know what you think about your chances, because all of you are going to poll single digits.
Yeah.
Some of you worse than others, but none of you are competitors.
Look,
And so they all think they can be mayor.
yeah.
And they all came back like, "God, man, dude, I'm not really in this." I'm like, no. So because you have to over time demonstrate leadership. It's very rare someone comes out of nowhere and wins, especially against an incumbent. And, you got to have some record of speaking out and standing up for certain things. And that's where we're at as politics. It hasn't always been like that.
A lot of that is
that's how it is now.
A lot of that is luck, in my opinion, too, though, right? Because in
politics
mayoral election, it's like, what, 18% was the people who showed up. And if
18 sounds high.
Well, yeah, but it's pretty high, probably a little lower.
But what I'm saying is,
they're close.
A lot of those people that voted, to me, it's almost luck. Who had the best soundbite? Who had the best moment?
It's not,
right, because
there's luck. Luck is a fake thing, bro. Luck is when the prepared meets the opportunity. Yeah. That's it. Luck is an easy way to justify someone's inability to be successful. Well, he got it out of luck.
You're missing intention in that, but
there's no intention in it. You're giving away the intention by saying it's luck.
So you don't believe in luck at all?
I don't believe in luck. I believe in preparedness, your ability, your skill set, and then shit happens, and then you meet the moment. That's not luck. That's you prepared. So, i.e.,
I don't know if I agree with that.
Rick, I mean, but I don't know. I'm a person of faith, so it's a little bit different for me, right? Like I believe there's an ordained matter to things. Luck is I believe the non-believers or the somewhat questioning person's justification for the world. So by me saying, hey, man, the prepared meets the opportunity, that is, you can categorize it as luck, but it's like I'm running. Roberto Trevino decides to try to cancel Chick-fil-A. That is a gift. That is a opportunity for me. Some will call that lucky.
Okay, so...
But I'd capitalize on it because of my skill, my voice, my ability to distill information in the moment in my politics. And that started a moment for me.
So the moment is that random luck. I mean...
Look, I've been a part of the business environment for a very long time. I've met people who have put a lot of effort, intention, heart, perspective into a startup, right? And then you're competing against other startups that are potentially in your same industry. The fact that one PE firm acquired you opposed to the other one, even though you put all the effort and attention, to me, that is luck.
So let's talk about it in terms of elections. I think that there was nothing I could do different that would have made me win the election. Like, if I was running against Evilise, even if I was a Hispanic male, I think I would actually still lose. Because there's just a factor out there that I can't control.
Is that the luck factor? Do you believe in the luck factor then, or? Because you did everything in your perspective.
So luck is, to me, it sounds like a benefit that comes, right? Or a moment that benefits you. I would say I would describe it more as like a random variable, a random uncontrollable variable. And if you choose to partake in that moment, you may get some value out of it, but you still might not succeed. But you never know unless you try. So that the variable that was random from my perspective that I couldn't control was the Mesa Gonzalez legacy.
Well, but you knew that going in, so it wasn't a...
I actually didn't know as much as I know about it now. Right?
Oh, well.
But, and I say this not trying to take anything away from Evilise and the way she ran her campaign and the effort that she put in. Like that also has to do with it, right? But yeah, so when you say luck,
you guys are men of faith, probably a little more than I am. Not that I'm not a believer, but do y'all believe in like the quantum physics side of things in the universe in which we live in?
I don't even know what that means. To be honest.
That's a deep. I don't even know shit. But I will tell you this:
as soon as you say quantum, I'm
gonna give you a little bit of grief. I love you, man. The fact you did not know who she was,
that's fair,
is a complete and total miss. Preparedness meets the opportunity. You lost mainly because you're a Muslim. I hate to say it, but it's true. And I love you, and I think you would have been an amazing council member. But life wasn't ready to see past that yet. And I think people lose because people vote for their comfortable. I don't think it's racism.
Yeah.
I think it's uncomfortability, and we tend to vote in San Antonio. We're very uninformed voters, so we tend to stay home with what we love or what we know or what looks normal to us. There's nothing racist about that. San Antonio is not a racist community. but they see the Muslim name, and it is going to be.
There's also the
There's a-
side that your community
because-
likely didn't vote.
Well, they
Right.
voted, but you got to remember
Yeah.
too, and he had money and resources. So when you say, "Oh, I didn't know that," now I know, that's a miss, right? So you weren't as prepared as you should have been for and that's fine, because oftentimes you get into these things and you don't know where the blind spots are because the first time you've done it.
Right.
And unfortunately for you, you have a very high belief in the political system and the goodness of governance. You have you have not been burned enough to know, like, hold on a second here. I don't think like these other fools who are after the buck and try to monetize their roles and shit like that. I think Sakib would have been a far better, I'll say it, than representative in Evilise. It's nothing against Evilise. I just think he would be a harder worker, care more, and be in the streets and community. And that's the kind of person I would want to see represented, and that's why I voted for him. By the way, I'm a District 8 resident. I voted for Sakib. But he lost by some issues that were out of his control. The luck moment, I guess, whatever. But it was semantics. Shit is happening around us in life and politics. You have to be prepared for when the moment hits you. That's the moment of politics. That every race is unique. There will be a moment in any campaign where something's going to happen, and it's not a luck at you or this issue. It's not. It's just life. It's the wrong L word. It's not luck. It's life. And do you meet the moment when it happens? And that's it. And then it sparks something in a campaign. Sometimes those never come. In 2019, I hit a lightning in a bottle. I should have won that race. I think I did win that race. I think I got robbed 100%. And I think they had to come at me and try to destroy me and my family to do it. They had to pull out all stops to get me. The entire machine. In 2021, I came back, was COVID. It didn't even matter. Nobody cared. There was no moment. So it's very difficult to recreate the moment. So that's it. If there's any greater message or any greater proof source, it's my two campaigns. And both of them, I got 60,000 votes almost. So I had the same people with me. The moment was just different. So you got to keep going at it. You can't just stop. And Sakib needs to run again. Unfortunately, it's 4-year terms. The stupidest vote we've probably made in a long
I
time.
voted for
You don't
it.
like that.
It was dumb.
I voted for.
I mean,
You don't like the 4-year thing.
I hate it. I think it's terrible for a municipality, and
I
it
think
creates
it's
an
good. I think it's good
entrenchment.
if you put the right people in there.
No, it's never good, man.
All right, so let me ask you, let me ask you this:
All right, I'm sorry, I get my soapbox. I just don't want Sakib to.
the Republican Party,
should have won. I mean, it should have been him.
right? The Republican Party in the city of San Antonio during this mayoral election had a responsibility to help their candidate of choice meet the moment. Do you believe they got behind the wrong candidate so the moment could have been met?
Again, preparedness for you as a candidate, and are you prepared when this shit happens? Elections are controlled crash landings. You're building a campaign. It's like putting the airplanes on the wing as you take off. And then you're going to crash your plane.
Mm-hmm.
That's a campaign. You're just trying to save as many lives as you can when you go down. Like this, your plane's going down. It's going to crash and burn. There's no HR. There's no business LLCs and campaigns. It's just a mess. And the campaign creates the person, right? It vets the person. Can you handle a political campaign? Can you go, even at the lowest levels, political campaigns are very difficult. They hurt you and your family. They take tolls on you. They destroy. The purpose of the campaign is to get you through that. And then when you win, you govern. You win one way to govern another.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, right, that take the Republican Party, for instance.
Yeah.
I like Rolando Pablos a lot.
Yeah,
I think
he's
he's
a friend.
fantastic. I think he's a brilliant man. I think he would have died a slow death at that city hall with that city council. And sometimes you're happier when you lose. And I hope he's destined for greater shit somewhere else, because I think he would have had a terrible time as our mayor, and he wouldn't have got nothing done because he wouldn't have the votes. And he lost by 8 points. I mean, he put a couple $1 million in that thing. The moment wasn't his. That's all there is to it.
Who
And
would have been the better candidate in that space?
Beto Altamirano. I hate to
No,
say
but
it. No
you're on the
disrespect to
on the
you.
Yeah.
Republican,
On the
I
Republican
think the Republicans would have gone with Beto Altamirano.
is that because Mark White was backing the idea, or is that because
I think that's because Beto represented. You got to remember, Republicans go towards more business-oriented type candidates. I think for instance, you just didn't have enough time. You don't have enough. There's also a factor of time here. I told you this. You're too late. People don't know who you
I
are.
remember that.
You got to keep coming. You got to keep coming. And then you can't just come out of nowhere and win. Beto had traction. He had crossover appeal. He's not a very exciting candidate, but I think he would have pulled enough Dems to have gotten it done. That's the key. A Republican can't win on Republican votes alone. They got to pull Democrats. So who's that person? So it's not a fair metric. You could have pulled some Democrats, but you're not, nobody knows you. So it's
thinking of it.
We had no Republican that would have won.
The Republican,
None.
yeah, I was going to say from the Republican side, I feel like
nobody.
That's like nobody spoke out there that.
Well,
when was the last time San Antonio had a Republican mayor?
Howard Peak, right?
Bill Thornton?
So
Dentist Bill Thornton?
I thought it was 90.
Peak, I wouldn't even call it that.
No?
It's been over 30 years. But I think I will go down in history as the closest to ever get there for probably the next 30 years.
I should run last year then, or this past year.
Man, life and trouble and people, my family hates it. It's just destruction and it destroys. I'm not going to lie. And it hurts and it breaks you down and it, COVID hit. I lost everything and I had nothing. And so people ask me nowadays, why am I different in some of these perspectives? Because I lost it all. I have nothing. I had nothing. I lost everything because of government intervention. So when you lose everything and you wonder where your next paycheck's going to come from and how you're going to feed the kids, boy, does that open your eyes up when you have to decide, am I make this car payment or am I going to feed my family?
Mm-hmm.
That changes your politics. And I think that makes it more realistic for San Antonio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we struggle. And you said an impoverished, poverty-driven mentality in our city, absolutely. But I think that, a guy like Rolando, he just doesn't resonate. I mean, he didn't resonate. He didn't catch fire.
I honestly think
he needed an issue. He needed something.
I think he would have sided on the side. I think he would have allowed council to influence him more than we think. That's my perspective. Saying you're Republican, but
I think we're past those days at the council. I think we are. I think each individual person has the power of their own fucking vote now, man. They're ready to rock and roll. Like you get 3 people, they're calling their own meetings. Like there's chaos down there.
Yeah.
I think it's actually good. I think it can be good. It can drive policy and drive better policy. The conflict is good, but Rolando just didn't catch fire.
I think Gina gets a lot done in these next 4 years.
I think she hired Pat Wallace, which is a good thing. I think she's brought in some other people. Nobody knows why she's here though. Still to this day, like why are you doing this job? Like, and that's gotta hurt, like for guys like Rolando and Melissa Haverda and Manny Pelaez and Beto Altamirano, these people that are good human beings, man. Most of them. And
I was gonna say you're giving a lot of grace here, man.
Yeah, no,
I don't think Gina's doing a completely bad job.
I don't think she's doing a bad job.
Call for transparency time.
Yeah, she's just not
in an effort that is representative for the people.
You got to love this work, though. This isn't
right.
You can't.
But I almost feel like, look, don't get me wrong, but I feel like she's doing a better job than what I expected Rolando to do or Beto to do.
That's fair criticism, but I think
for
Rolando would have been a very business-oriented mayor who was trying to be a CEO.
Yeah.
And
say that again.
Rolando would have been a mayor who was business-oriented CEO, thinking he can run it as a business and as a CEO. He would have suffered tremendously for that.
Do you think his capacity to build coalitions is better than Gina's?
Oh yeah, I mean, look at how she started.
So
she went right at her own people.
So knowing what I know now, and you definitely know more than this, or more than me on this. I think the mayor's job really is there's just one skill, and it's just coalition building.
Well, because
coalition build, but it's more than that. It's like to me, the mayor's job it extends far beyond coalition building, because you have to be able to look. Freedom of the press is a very important piece of our democracy. When have you ever seen a mayor in the city of San Antonio tap into the freedom of the press to inspire a movement? Heavy movement.
I'll explain it.
If it doesn't make sense,
I hate to say it. Probably Castro probably did it, and Henry.
All that is good, but the mayor can't get anything done.
I'm saying
without a coalition,
right? But what I'm saying is, if you're trying to inspire a bigger movement, that is, look, if you're tackling local things with a local structure that is already in poverty, you can't really change anything. You have to have outside force, right? There's got to be an outside movement that taps into our city to change the dynamic of where we're at, positioned in terms of the economy. Can we agree on that?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
You don't think that whenever
I think manifest destiny, man. We're in control of our own shit,
let's go back to Toyota moving here, right? Let's go back to the
That's because we went and got it. We changed our own future.
Why the hell are we going to Mexico City to try to form coalitions with corporations to move here.
Yeah, but they're not saving us. We're fighting for it.
Right. But what I'm saying is there was movement, right, during the campaign where a bunch of people were flying out to different parts of Mexico, Colombia, to try to inspire people to move here, their companies here, or whatever it is, right? That perspective is proof alone that whether you're on the right or on the left, you have to have outside investment to change the dynamic of where we're at. Because currently the productivity here isn't working. Whether that's through company, whether it's through investment, whether it's through workforce, those things have to happen. And so what I mean by tapping into the media is you have to tap into, it's not just local media, you have to tap into worldwide media. The Bloombergs, the CNBCs of the world, the CNNs of the world. You have to utilize that platform to inspire change within the constructs of what builds not only our economy, but our political landscape here. And that's what I mean by you run the city as a CEO, right? You tap in and you say, hey, this would have been good for our economy, but these 5 members voted against it.
I can't.
Right?
You come from a business capital management.
I have a different perspective.
You have a business capital management perspective. The mayor is the chief care officer. It's not the chief executive.
In a weak mayor system, all it is an image.
It's because the mayor as the CEO doesn't have the tools to
They're
act
one
as
of
a
11
CEO.
votes. There's no specialness, but they have the power of a couple of things.
Yep.
They have the power to set the agenda.
Right.
It's probably their greatest strength.
Right.
And the power of the position to build a coalition, right? The power to, no matter when I walk in the room, I usurp you.
Right.
So there could be 10 of you in a room. The minute I walk in the room, I'm the one. So power of position, power to set the agenda. You're a business person. Who
brought Toyota into town?
That was a multi-pronged approach across all kinds of people.
But who was the one who was like, picked up the phone? Because I can guarantee you now that any council member picks up the phone and calls Corporation X to inspire.
That goes back to my point before about the fact that we have a different type of council now.
Right.
But the mayor is the chief care officer of our city.
And it's important.
They're the ones that this is not a executive. You can't run it like a business.
Right.
And that's where Rolando would have struggled. And Gina's struggling because she doesn't care. She may care, but it comes across as not caring. Like
you guys said, look, 2 perspectives to the mayor. Before we move forward on that, 2 perspectives to the mayor is what you guys said. Sets the agenda. And what was the second one?
Is the 11th vote?
Is the 11th vote?
No. The power of their position to be able to.
Well, we didn't say that. That's where I came in, right? You said.
I said
11th vote.
No, they're one of 11 votes. They're just the same as everybody else in the vote structure.
And
that's
setting the agenda.
No. They set the agenda and then the power of the position.
Right.
When the mayor shows up, anybody else in that council is irrelevant.
Right.
People still respect that position more so than 10 council members. So that gives you some credibility to begin to push
100%
the issue.
And that's what I mean, right? The power, to me, what would help Gina in this situation? Dude, pick up the phone and start calling some heavier hitters that are going to compete with the current dynamic of the Spurs organization.
Honestly, what helps her right now is not that, in my opinion. What helps her right now is what she's actually started doing. Showing up places and giving a shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like she showed up last night at the Rainbow Crosswalk. I probably, obviously I would.
She's always done that.
No. This is unique. She's actually said we got to be very careful with the governor.
Yeah.
And we may have to take this thing down. She said that. So for her to show up, she's in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
She's showing up at neighborhood meetings. She's starting to do more basic community outreach. To be the chief care officer of the city, right? To show up and go out elsewhere and advocate, you got to have the city with you. And so I think the mistake that a lot of people make, that Rolando undoubtedly would have made, is to come in and try to run this thing like a business. And it's not. We're past that. Politics is neither a business, nor is it friendship and joy and rivers of chocolate and gold. It's not, man. People have to show the shit up. They have to work. You have to convince these people to be with you. And
can you do both? Can you run it like a business and show up?
No.
You can't have town halls within neighborhoods. And
I think running it like a business loses sight. When you run things like a business, it becomes a spreadsheet-driven bottom line thing. And I'm sorry, we're going to run deficits to take care of people. We're going to have to make votes that aren't easy because we're going to do things that have no bottom line relevance to being a profit. I have a problem with running it as a business because of a profitability mentality.
Right. Well,
that's it. And profitability sometimes means a city government is not measured in dollars; it's measured in happiness.
Well, you're
missing
a component of business. A component of business is your fiduciary duty to the shareholders.
We ain't got no shareholders, man.
Let me explain that though. That doesn't always mean profitability, right? Your fiduciary duty is to the shareholders.
It's number one, though.
It could translate to it. But
No. Profitability is number one in a business. No profitability, no business.
But I'm saying if you're running it as a CEO, right? You have a board. You'll say the board is the people who vote the CEO in, right? Any part of the business structure, the board can oust the CEO.
Sure.
Right? So when you're CEO and you're running your business, the fiduciary duty, yes, it's profitability, but at the same time, your fiduciary duty is to the shareholders because you have to do what's right.
And guess who the shareholders are in city government?
The people.
No.
Who are they?
Where we make mistakes and where we've been making mistakes for decades. The shareholders are the business elites.
That's the sad part of our local politics.
You just identified it accidentally. I think we're accidentally falling on a very key point.
Yeah.
The shareholders should be the public.
The people.
They are not.
Why is that?
Because we're beholden to the chambers of commerce and the rich dudes that run the city. The shareholders, we are very meritocracy-based type bullshit in our community.
But do you think if more people voted, would they be the shareholders?
Yes.
Right?
But they don't. We elect people more with our apathy than we do our action. So who's the one consistent? It's the business community. I got to give them at least that credit, right? Is it over the decades the shareholders have been the business communities, the chambers of commerce, and the political insiders and political elites. That's it. Those are the true shareholders right now. What we're seeing is a massive shift now to where I think it's going towards the people. The Spurs thing is showing us we're growing to the shareholders actually being the people. And it's struggling in the business. That's why the business community is running around like, oh my God, we're buffoons. The stupidity of this city. You know, Trish DeBerry running around telling everybody, we don't do this. This is the end of the world. And Eddie Alderete, the Dawsons, and all, Peter
Wolf
Holtz.
Made some comments surprisingly recently that I saw, right?
Nelson Wolf, who stuck his head back and like, hold on a second.
Why do you think he did that? Because I expected different from Nelson Wolf.
I think Nelson is
he's a straight shooter, man. He
tells it like it is, and he's old enough to know I don't give a shit about the backlash. And I think he cares. I think what made Nelson the greatest politician in the history of our community is that he cared more than anyone else, and that's why he was able to get shit done.
I'll tell you a funny story.
I love that old man. I think he has been a fantastic, will go down as the number one leader of our community ever.
So it's a far reach in my neighborhood, but I'm not going to say that.
Look at our mayors. Who's been better than him?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan. Well,
you can not be a fan of him, but look at the team we've had of mayors. Aside from Henry, which I don't put Henry in Nelson's category, it's Nelson. Number one.
I never thought I'd say this, but I like how Gina is fighting the fight.
Jeez Louise, dude. I'm about to...
Let's
put the stop button. Sakib, wrap us up, bro.
I'll tell you a funny story about Nelson Wolf. So I was reaching out to as many people as I could because I needed like one like high-profile endorsement. And he's known to endorse people like he endorsed Beto, at a time when like all the big-name people were trying to stay out of it. So he took a risk.
Well, you know the history, you know the connections behind that, right? You know what happened.
Well, I mean, that's well. Let me tell you about the story first. Okay. So I sent him an email.
It's not my role to dive into it, but I have a friend we could bring on. She could talk about it.
Sure. So I sent him an email, and he responded in a couple of days and said that
Wolf.
He said that he's already endorsed someone, but he's happy to meet. Now the way he wrote it, it looked like it looked like he misspelled something though. And it looked like he was trying to say he hasn't. So I was like, maybe he misspelled it. I showed it to my campaign team, and they're like, yeah, I think he misspelled it.
But he didn't endorse anyone for did he?
Yeah, he did. He endorsed Ivelisse.
Okay.
So, but it wasn't public yet. So he met with me, and we had a great conversation. And then he was like, I wish I met you before. So I was like, okay, that's nice of him. Now, after the election, I reached out to him again because I applied to be part of LSA, Leadership San Antonio. I wanted to ask him to write me a letter of recommendation.
That's cute.
So he so he met me for breakfast, and as soon as I walked in, he pats me on the back, and he's like, "Oh, you scared the shit out of him."
That's how he is. That's how he is.
Oh man,
he's completely approachable.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, man, and just to kind of wrap this thing up because we're already 140 here. I think
we'd be here all day if it wasn't for Brockhouse having shit all week. Busy man,
I don't
dude.
know, man. I'm fighting Spurs, man.
Let me let you finish. My bad.
No, I
Apologize.
just think that I don't know, man. It's a wide ranging challenge with the city government. And this vote, whenever it goes, it goes. I don't really give a shit. I mean, if it passes, it passes. If it fails, it fails.
You do give a shit. Don't say that.
No, at the ultimate end of the day, we've done all we could do. Like, this is the beauty of campaigns. And at the end of the day, the scoreboard is the greatest. It's answer to our greatest question. Like, what are we going to do? The vote will decide it. I think the problem for me in a lot of these politics, and I've been on the winning end, I've been on the losing end, and I've been attacked more than just about any candidate in San Antonio, more than any election.
Yeah, I was going to say, you probably took the most punches out of anyone that I've known here.
Yeah. Well, Nico LaHood actually probably taken.
Really? More than you?
No, Nico's taken a ton of damage.
He deserves it.
You don't like Nico?
Separate.
But Nico's taken a lot of damage.
We're gonna have
Nico and I both,
here.
I think, are pretty much on par. But what I think is the sad part, the way this has kind of divided the city further, and the way
it's just the terms of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
it's not that we don't want development. I think we'd all agree. We want development.
We don't want the Spurs to leave. We want a better downtown. We want it on our terms, and we want it to be a little more transparent than it was. And Ron started this mess behind closed doors. Here he's going to run for county judge, and we're going to perpetuate the same problems we've always had if we continue to elect the same people with the same policies, with the same outcomes. So, and the same dynastic family of support that they've always had. But we have to really recognize that what has happened to our city, and that's that the Spurs vote has divided people. I mean, I've lost a couple of friends over this. It's really ridiculous.
We'll be back after.
Well, no, they were never my friends to begin with, if that's the truth, right? Like, if you can't disagree with somebody and go toe-to-toe on debate an issue, and then you lose, you move on. But to unfriend people, or to maybe
they're just
unsubscribe from their life because you think they're bullshit or lying about this, or it's so petty and ridiculous. And these are like community leaders that am really stunned at the level of their pettiness.
You're not surprised? I am. There's a reason why.
I'm not surprised, but I'm not. It's sad. So I think, look, this vote has divided us. I think it's a shame. I think the Spurs should be ashamed of themselves. And I think if you're going to run around with this council and portray yourself to be a progressive and a leader and a Democrat and a liberal and all these other things, well, then the hell are you doing, man? Like, you're making no sense.
Yeah.
The only answer to me is you either got paid or you're enamored and in love with the spotlight and you think you're somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not. And when you leave the job, your phone stops ringing. Unless you keep going and keep getting engaged. Like, I don't think I've stopped. I mean, I have been down there in 6 years, and I still rent free space in a lot of people's heads, and I think it's friggin' hilarious.
Yeah,
and they come after me, and they're going to say whatever they're going to say. Some of it hurts, some of it doesn't, some of it's out of line, some of it's not, some of it's fair, whatever. So, look, people got to vote, got to get out there and make it happen. Voting ends today. By the time this is posted, all we'll have is Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, this moment, the election's already over.
Yep.
Somebody's already won.
Yeah.
So, the next, I hate to say it because 65, 70% of the votes in early. It's probably done unless it's super close.
Right.
So someone's already won that initiative. And if it goes down, I say, we get back to the drawing board, and Mayor Jones will work on that and get the right people at the table, and let's get them saved, just like Nelson said.
Yep.
And if they win, we'll probably have to deal with the assholes gloating about it and talking about the fools that wanted to hold us back and how we've saved the city. I guarantee you in 20 years, it doesn't make it. That shit's going to make a difference.
Right.
In 10 years, the Spurs will be back asking for another $500 million to fix the arena that we built for them.
All
So
I got to use the restroom still.
So keep it going. Get out there and vote. And, let's just try to elect good people. And I think it was a great discussion today, and I appreciate it. And
I look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Well, let's wrap up. I know you got to go.
No, we're good. We're good. We're good to wrap up. I got nothing else to add.
We'll have another episode next week.
Thank you.
So we just end just because you got to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, dude.
I want to
drink
talk
too
about
much tea, man.
All right, man.
We'll see you on the next
phone
one.
calls. So
Thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.